6:50 a.m. on a Tuesday. Bathed in bird song. And I wait. Turn the dial to the right place. This is my morning. Tennessee way. Dog is ready to be walking. Pot of coffee got me talking. Patsy cries out, she's so crazy. This is a morning
It is extremely dark today. We've been having storm after storm after storm. It's extremely stormy outside right now, so I apologize in advance for this very unflattering lighting. I know it probably looks really different right now, but it's almost pitch black outside, so I have to have these lights on. But I guess it makes it feel nice and cozy and fall-like in the studio. We are Monday today, and we are kicking off production week. I unloaded a kiln, as you might have seen, so that's the first bisque firing. We have quite a few bowls and mugs already for the collection, and today I am planning on, actually let me check my planner. I have broken down the whole collection into this one page, and on the next page I've broken down what I'm making every single day. And the way I had it, I'm doing it is I'm writing the day and then what shape I'm making and then the number. Usually I don't do the illustrations, but I find that it's just easier, clearer for me to know what shape I'm making instead of writing the name. Sometimes I find names more confusing. So today I'm supposed to be making some wide bowls. Later in the week I'm going to be making some flower shaped or petal shaped plates. And then hopefully at the very end of the week I could also throw some teacups. Actually, to be honest, for the teacups, I keep changing my mind on the shape that I want to do. I know that the way that I had shaped this collection was like at the very beginning I determined every single shape and then I just produced the heck out of them. I think what I'm learning about the process that I've established for this collection is it's not really working for me, in the sense that I don't think I do well by determining everything set at the beginning. I feel like I'm still enjoying having some ebb, flow, and flexibility, being able to build a collection and as it's growing to introduce new things. I feel like all throughout my life I've always been one to change all the time and to stay really flexible, try new things. So maybe I just have to accept that that is what I tend to like, and yeah, create a system around that. Anyhow, let's go make some bowls. Lunch break. I got myself a shawarma and I just felt like why not sit down and talk to you guys, because after all we are internet friends. Let's see if it looks good. It's kind of like a really creamy spiced chicken, almost like curry spiced chicken. So good, delicious. This is going to be my first Christmas or winter holiday, if you want to call it, collection, so I'm not really sure what to expect. I did take a look though at the shipping dates, just because I know that you definitely have to ship everything before a certain date for the packages to arrive in time. Since I know the cutoff date, I can then kind of deduce what date would work well for the collection drop, keeping in mind that I do need to leave myself some time to ship everything and package everything, which does take a little while. But yeah, it's always really exciting to be in the middle of building a collection. Overall though, I'm feeling really positive. I think I gave myself 3 weeks of training time before even starting the collection. I think that's definitely something I'm going to incorporate in the future, which is giving myself time to practice, improve my skill, and accounting that as something that I have to do before I start a new project. Booking myself some time to do practicing, because it really improves the quality of what I make in the following project. So this week is dedicated to making some wide bowls and some plates. After that, I will have basically made every bowl and plate shape for the collection. I've already started some of the mugs, but I have one mug design that I would like to finish determining, and a teacup design as well. I've really been enjoying drinking from teacups more than mugs lately. I have these like simple cups, like tall cups that I've made at home. They were kind of like one-offs that I just ended up firing and using as glaze testers, and I just brought them home. And I surprisingly really enjoy drinking from them. I'd really like to introduce some teacups, just because I feel like if I'm really into them, there might be other people who are into them as well. So that's another thing that I need to finish designing. I had this conversation with a friend the other day where I was mentioning maybe considering doing more sculptural work and not just focusing just on functional work. But looking at the calendar, basically my biggest production time is October, and we only have a couple more weeks left in October. And then November is mostly going to be glazing, shooting the products, updating the website, and then preparing to launch the sale. I did leave myself some buffer zone in November. However, I also have to keep in mind that glazing, first of all, is a very tedious task. It takes a long time. I think a lot of potters are always surprised by how long glazing takes. And the second is I have to account for all the glaze firing. And one mistake that I made last time was my firings were a little too tight, and I had some pieces that I left in some glaze firings at the very end that I couldn't shoot in photos. So I had to wait for the firing to be done before I could shoot the photos, but the sale was going to be like the next day or the day after. It was just too tight, so I'm keeping that in mind. I took a lot of notes from my last collection on like definitely what to not do in future collections. Another tip, for example, that I learned is I have to order packaging material way in advance. It's really important to fulfill and ship the orders as soon as possible after people have made their order. I regret having to wait so long to ship my last pieces last time. I just ran into too many issues with just the packaging just didn't arrive in time. Because it was my first time, there was a lot of packaging material that I had to order. And when I say these have to be done in advance, I mean like at least a month before the sale date. So there's already a lot of stuff that I have to be preparing in October for shipping that will be cutoff time December 9th, which kind of blows my mind. Maybe for those of you who are in retail, this makes a lot of sense. It is a lot to manage when you are the maker as well as the person running all the logistics in the back, as well as all the designs, etc. And I feel like I'm always kind of behind, which is a feeling that I don't really like. I feel like I'm still trying to improve. I know that I still have some messages, like I do receive a lot of emails from you guys, and I have to find some time to reply to you guys. I do apologize how long it takes sometimes. I just don't have as much time as I'd like to be sitting at the computer, or if I am sitting at the computer, I'm probably editing this video, which also takes a lot of time. So there's a lot of learning. Part of me really likes doing all of this and learning a lot of like what is the behind the scenes of running a business. I don't know if like talking about small business stuff is interesting to you guys, or if you'd rather like I just focus on talking about pottery and showing the making process. And I mean, I do try to be transparent, but also I feel like I do make a lot of mistakes. I am learning a lot. So yeah, I think that's pretty much what is on my mind. I'm going to go ahead and finish enjoying this shawarma, and I'll talk to you in a bit. finished making the wide bowls. I do have about 5 balls of clay left that I have pre-wedged. I tried throwing with one and within a minute or two it was collapsing. So I'm gonna wait for those to dry a little bit and see if I'll use them to make just 5 more bowls. In the meantime, I have this big pile of a reclaim here that I am going to start wedging to make plates. I think it's right, ooh, it's a bit wet still. We've gone down just a few degrees in temperature, not very much in the last few days. And this is drying so slowly now. I took some notes like so. I don't know if you can see, but I made a whole page where I have all the pieces of the collection that so far I've decided on, as well as dimensions, the weight of clay, as well as the final dimension. So I'm gonna reference that. 950 grams, 22 centimeters wide, 4 centimeters tall. I said I was gonna make, I think I said 30, but I am changing the quantities lately. I have 3 bags of clay left, 1 bucket of reclaim, and quite a bit of clay to reclaim. I'm just calculating how much clay I have left, just because 950 grams multiplied by 30, that starts to become a lot of clay. I have to wait till mid-October until I can put in another order, just because the manufacturer has run out of stock. It's been a bit of an issue. I buy directly from the manufacturer just because it costs less. But because I guess they're distributing across the country and Europe, they do run out of clay, which leaves me with no clay unless I order way in advance. And we're talking months in advance. I contacted them almost 2 months ago and they said, sorry, we won't have clay till mid-October. So I had to buy clay from a distributor, which did mean that the cost of the clay bag was double the amount that I buy directly from the manufacturer. I just realized maybe some of those shots were out of focus. Also, I'm sorry that I do look like a little alien with my hair clips in, but I do have to, it's the only way to clip in my bangs. So you're just gonna have to see me with my hair clipped like that. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling in good spirits. I just listened to some podcasts that were pretty funny. 1 second. Actually, speaking of wire tools, I'm feeling a little chatty, so we're doing a little chat moment. Let's move this guy out of the way. I, until now, have been using these wire tools that are kind of like, you just find them everywhere, cheap. The wire is pretty thin. It's actually really long, and it's just like attached with like little wooden knobs, which I do like. I do like the wooden knobs, they're lightweight, but this wire tool is hella long, and more importantly, the wire is very thin, and so it keeps creating little angles and getting folded and clumped, which then beats the purpose of having a clean cut off. Barro tools, or Barro tools, I believe they're based out of Barcelona, reached out to me and sent me one of the wire tools that they make. They're made with a wire held by 2 little pieces of clay. They're a bit on the heavy side, however, they do feel really nice. More importantly, I really love the quality of the wire that they use. I know that you can make these yourself, but like, I do not have time right now to buy and source wire. The other thing that I do like about it is when I do wire off and go like this, because the wire is a bit on the thicker side, my fingers don't kind of like get scratched on the metal wire. Sometimes when I pull it really taut on a really thin wire like this, it kind of cuts through my skin and it hurts after a while, especially if you're doing this like 30 times, 40 times a day. So yeah, highly recommend Barro tools. You will see me use their tools a lot in this collection making. I'll show you the 2 other ones that I have. I did just use them, so they're a bit wet. I'm going to quickly clean them for you. So Barro Tools did send me these tools. They DM'd me, they said they really like the stuff that I do, they'd love to send me some tools, and I said, of course, totally. I'd love to try them out, and I really love them. They are not paying me to talk about this. This is my honest opinion. I would buy these myself. So they're brass metal ribs, this one you can tell I've used a lot because it started to oxidize with the clay. However, if you spray a bit of vinegar and then scrub it off, it just become golden like this again. The texture is just so beautiful. They're hammered and they really look like jewelry, basically. I like that they're thick, so they're not like easily bendable. Like this is me applying quite a bit of pressure. Sometimes you do want a rib that is bendable, but sometimes you want one that is nice and straight and their angles are nice and sharp. I use this one a lot because I'm making bowls lately, so the curvature is obviously really handy. Compared to most ribs like this one's pretty long. I find like a lot of them are smaller and short, which is okay if you're making small things, but for my bowls, when I want to make a straight line, I just use the edge of this. And then when I want to use the curve, I just use this. So I really only use one tool. This one, I think if you're making like straight cylinders, straight mugs, even like flat plates and such, it's great. And yeah, they're great tools. They feel really great in the hand, and I just think they're really great quality. I've been using them a lot. I've been really enjoying using them. So highly recommend Barro Tools Pottery. Lately my throwing has been improvement. I've been throwing with less clay. So earlier, the bowls at the very beginning when I was testing them, I was using 800 grams. I've gone down to 700 grams now. I have been practicing spiral wedging, which I had never really tried before. It definitely takes some practice. However, with the lack of practice that I've had, which is like I've tried maybe 3 times so far, it has gotten rid of the air bubbles in my clay so quickly in just a few spiral wedges. I've been wedging with 2 kilos of clay every time I spiral wedge. Still practicing, but it's really cool to see that it is really effective, which does motivate me to learn. Happy Saturday. I am in the studio because I have a couple plates to trim that I threw yesterday. So I'm gonna be doing that today. And then later this afternoon, I have some friends coming over. We are doing a sort of introduction to pottery, beginner throwing on the wheel type of class. We're gonna be doing 3 sessions together, and I think it's gonna be really nice. I'm really excited. I kinda wanna create a bit of a cozy, comfortable mood. We're gonna put on a bit of music and just chill and hang, you know, between friends and touch pottery to relax at the same time. I think I look a little tired today. I'm sorry if I look a little beat up. It's been a busy week. It's been a fun week though. I do feel very like fulfilled, creatively fulfilled, that I've been working so hard, but I do also feel really exhausted, and I can't wait to rest and have a Sunday before it all starts over again next Monday. So let's see how many plates I can get through. Worst case, I'll finish the plates either after the class or on Sunday, just because they'll be too dry if I wait till Monday. And since there's a lot to trim in a plate because the foot is quite wide, you kind of want the clay to be on the softer side. So I didn't time this very well, but oh well, the life of a potter. Let me show you guys what I am trimming. This is the current situation. This is the plate that is currently being trimmed. The foot will look a little more something like that. These are the other plates. Whoopsie. The remainder that I have.
I am the animal, separate, howling, desperate to kiss the sky.